And welcome to MLB Tonight, presented by Camping World. Thursday, April 2nd, MLB Tonight at home. Brought to you in part by Camping World and made possible by our friends at NTT with their home plate cam technology. Yes, we are here in the absence of live baseball, still talking about America's pastime. If you're an amateur player, even if you're a professional player, regardless of your level of baseball, a couple of demos coming up in the program today. Bill Ripken on some drills infielders can do to keep sharp. Same from Ryan Dempster if you're a pitcher wondering how to stay loose and get your work in at home, as well as the latest around Major League Baseball regarding players, what big league players are up to during these very unusual times.
Well, Coors Field in Denver, courtesy of NTT Ballpark Cam. Tomorrow would have been a busy place. It was scheduled to be the home opener, that being Friday, April 3rd. Here we are on Thursday the 2nd. No baseball in Denver or anywhere else for the foreseeable future. The Rockies have some good ideas and something really fun in store in lieu of baseball on Friday for their TV audience. We'll talk about that and the fact that there is no home opener in Denver or anywhere else on MLB Tonight. Thanks for joining us. Harold Reynolds and Dan Plesac with me in a moment. But while we're talking about the Rockies and the would-have-been home opener tomorrow, we're pleased to be joined by five-time All-Star Nolan Arenado, who joins us from home in Los Angeles, where he and his family are safe. Nolan, thanks for the time. It's got to be the weirdest feeling for you and every other player trying to stay in game shape, not knowing when you guys are going to be out there again.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been really tough, just mentally, just getting ready. We were only 2 weeks away from the season, open up in San Diego, and then to get that call that we're done and to be home right now, it's just been really weird working here. But, I know a lot of people in this country are going through a really hard time, and that breaks my heart. So, I don't have it as bad as some people, so I feel a little bad complaining. So, I'm just happy that I'm healthy right now, and I'm just waiting, and hopefully we get to start the season sometime.
Yeah, we've got so much to ask you about, and you kind of talked about it there for a moment, but I'm curious about your workouts personally and how players around the league are staying in game shape. I mean, I'm sure you have guys that you can play catch with. I think your brother's not doing anything these days after all.
Yeah. I'm fortunate, I have a place where I can work out. It's just me, my cousin, my brother, and one of my boys. And it's just us four, and we're getting after it every day. And it's just kind of weird, though. The hardest part about working is not having an aiming spot. That's probably the hardest part about it, is that we're working, but we don't know what we're working toward. But we're just trying to stay busy, stay active and move around. And it's been nice. It's been really nice. We've been working out every day and then going home and just relaxing, playing video games once in a while and just chilling, watching movies.
I mean, we're going to run out of Netflix stuff at some point if you're thinking the way I am. I mean, that's the least of our problems, but that's on my mind too. Hey, how much contact are you having with your teammates? Because everybody's got to be feeling the same way. Do you guys talk, text? How are you keeping in touch?
Yeah, we text once in a while. There's a couple guys I really keep in touch with. Some are working out. I think most guys are, but some are having trouble finding places to work, and that's the hardest part. And I think that's probably one of the bigger problems, having a place to work out and get to work. So, but I think some guys are still finding a way. But yeah, we're just trying to lay low right now. Like I said, it's kind of hard to work and not have an aiming point, and so that's been the toughest part.
With guys in your family that play minor league baseball, and you're not that far removed from that world after all, the fact that those guys are going to be taken care of and they're still being paid, is that something that players are celebrating the way we think they are?
Absolutely. That was one of the concerns, I think, to the Rockies and some of us players. We were kind of concerned about those guys getting taken care of because, in the minor leagues, it's a grind, and those guys it's a grind. I was down there, but, I was fortunate to get drafted pretty high. So some of those guys are really grinding to find a way for their families, and they love the game and they want to play baseball. So, I'm happy that, MLB and the teams are going to take care of them. Obviously, they still need a little more help, and I think that's where we can come in. But as of right now, it's good to see that they're getting taken care of.
I'm positive that you have plenty to do just in terms of baseball and keeping your body in shape and your game sharp. But is there something that you're thinking of in the back of your mind where, hey, I've got all this time and I'm going to learn how to play the guitar, I'm going to learn how to do this? Is there another skill that you're going to take on now?
No, probably not a guitar or anything. You know, I've been running a lot. I've been sprinting a lot. You know, Story and Charlie, all these guys make fun of me because I'm slow. So, you know, I want to get like 10 bags this year, and they always say I can't. But no, I'm running, so I'm like, maybe I could try to get 10 bags. That's what I'm going to work toward. Like, it's some great accomplishment, 10 bags. But it would be kind of cool to get it. But they don't have any trust in me. So that's the only thing I'm working toward. I'm working.
You know what I got for Charlie and for Story. You know, 10 bags is great, but you come up with the 48 and 140. That's what we're talking about here. Get your little 8 bags. Not a big deal. The Rockies are doing something cool I was going to mention to you that I think you're aware of, and I'm not sure if you appear in it because there's no home opener on Friday. At 2 p.m. Mountain Time on AT&T Sportsnet and on Rockies.com, they're putting together this virtual game, right? The best 9 innings in Rockies home opening history. So I can guess on a couple of them that happened before you were around. A big one in 2005 when they scored 4 in the bottom of the 9th against the Padres. But are there any that include you?
Home openers?
Yeah.
I don't think so. The only one I think about, the home opener, I went 0 for 5. And I made 2 errors. That's the only home opener I think about. That's the only thing that's crossed my mind. It's probably not the best memory, but that's the only one that's the only one I'm thinking about. That was my first. I think it was 2014. It was my first home opener, and I went 0 for 5 with a couple of errors. So that was a great start to the year.
I'm positive they did not include that one in what they did Friday.
That's good.
There's a charitable component for this too. The Rockies food bank, which they call Feed the Rockies, and not the players, but Feed the Rockies. The Rocky Mountain fan base is also benefiting from this. It's pretty cool, and I know the Rockies. I know you personally, Nolan. You guys are really active in the community. Does this give you another thought? I mean, are guys talking about relief efforts for victims of COVID-19? Is it too early to think about that now?
No, I don't think so. I think, you know, the Rockies, you know, I don't have social media, but, you know, I feel obligated to at least speak to the fans and let them know what's going on. You know, my situation, I'm very fortunate to be in a position I'm in, so I want them to know that I'm thinking about them. And, you know, I think that's what the Rockies do a great job of, is they think about the fans. And, you know, I know a lot of the players are thinking about it, and I think it's a great idea. I think the fans are really going to appreciate it because, you know, I think right now, you know, as baseball is a pretty selfish sport in a way, you know, it's really focused on us and the players. So it's cool to give back and let them know that we're thinking of them. And I think that's been the focus, and I think it's been a really great thing.
Yeah, man, way to go. That's a good sentiment to wrap it up with. And again, you can watch this virtual home opener on Rockies.com Friday at 2 p.m. You've just heard from the 2 last men in the world that are not on social media, America. I'm not there either, dude. Way to go. Way to hold out.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm holding strong. I don't know how much longer, but yeah, I'm holding strong. I'll be all right.
We'll touch on that. Nolan, thanks for the time, man. And whenever the season starts, go get them. Thanks, man.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Stay safe, all right?
Well, first of all, Nolan, thank you for that time, because I know he was coming back from his workout and got with us on this call. So he and Matt, that was a great interview. But Dan, that's what you love about him. He's the leader of the organization. He understands the direction the front office wants to get into. He's involved in the community. That's what you want to hear from the guy you give a big contract to.
No doubt about that, Harold. And this is going to be an interesting time for not only position players, but a lot of pitchers also. They're almost in that November, December kind of workout routine right now. And hopefully, if you're one of the pitchers that just left camp and waiting for this to start up, that there's somebody around, whether a brother, a friend, a nephew, a teammate that can catch you. Because if you're not able to do that, all you're going to be able to do is play catch and play long toss. So you're hopefully that somebody in that neighborhood can play some catch with you where you can get down and at least throw it like 65, 70% to make sure that you're ready when baseball does eventually start back up.
Well, the other thing too, Dan, is giving back and how important it is right now for those guys with guaranteed contracts to give back. And Matt, since Chu made a huge gesture.
Yeah, we talked about this with Nolan, the fact that minor leaguers are being paid, but every little bit helps. And how about this, per Evan Grant's Twitter feed, confirmed this story from Korea. Shin-Soo Choo is donating $1,000 to each of the 190 minor league players in the Rangers system. Really an incredible act of generosity by Shin-Soo Choo, and you know, maybe one that will be copied by other players around the league. This is really a nice act.
especially in the minor leagues, you don't get paid much money. You're living seriously check to check. So that $1,000 gesture is a big thing. And Dan, I really do think it's going to catch on. Players are generous with their time and their money, and we'll see how the big guys step up.
Harold, you touched on it. The minor league players, they're really the backbone of every organization, because when you're looking during the course of the season, we talk about that 25-man roster. But normally on good teams, and you're going to get through a season, you're going to go through 30 or 40 guys a year. So you need those reserves down in the minor leagues, and a great gesture on Chu's part. And I'm sure that there are a lot of minor leaguers that are very appreciative that he stepped up.
Hey, the game is truly international, right? From a very generous gesture from a Korean-born player to a Canadian-born player who's never paid for anything in his life. Ryan Dempster has, however, given us this, an instructional video for pitchers to stay sharp during this period of inactivity. That's next on MLB Tonight at Home.
MLB Tonight is presented by Camping World, making RVing fun and easy since 1966. Visit campingworld.com today.
Welcome back to MLB Tonight, presented by Camping World. You know, we've received millions of inquiries. What is Bartolo Colon during this period of inactivity up to? These images answer the question. Sharpening up the billiard skills. Over 20 years in the league, he could roll out of bed and pitch tomorrow. But for those that maybe need to stay fresh on the mound, Ryan Dempster has some tips.
We're at home, right? We're practicing our social distancing. We're staying safe. We're confined to our home. What can we do to get a little bit better at baseball? Like I said in the first videos, it's not about throwing the ball or being out on a field that always matters. Building a foundation, and how do we do that? That's with our legs, right? That's our stability. We want balance when we're pitching. So there's ways to practice that right in the comfort of your own home. I'm in the kitchen. You know, maybe mom and dad don't want you in the kitchen, but that's where I'm choosing today. So little drills that we can do, as simple as this. It's building a foundation for your mechanics so that you're strong. You always hear this saying, ball of foot to ball of foot, and that's about going from the ball of your feet, which are right here, and as you pick up, you go from one ball of foot to the other and land balance. You want your direction going home plate this way. So a simple exercise I can do is get into your stretch position, right? Like you're pitching with somebody on base, because let's face it, the most important pitches you're gonna throw are always with somebody on base. So as we get there into our set position, all we're gonna do is pick up like this and hold that and hold it and practice that. That's strength, that's what you wanna do. And then if you want, you can release and go down into your mechanics like that, right? Coming up like this and then down into your mechanics like that. And if you want, what you can do is you can do it by reps. Try to do 5 reps or 10 or 15 and then go into multiple sets of that. So what I'm doing is I'm going like this. Boom, boom, boom. And then you really want to build up strength, is you can do it and hold it. Hold it for a 5-second count, a 10-second count, 30 seconds. See if you can hold it for a minute. If you're really advanced, the more you do this along the line, as the time you're sitting there in your room in front of a mirror practicing your mechanics, hold it for 5 minutes. Challenge yourself to get as strong as you can in that position. Same thing for lefties on the other side. I have bad left-handed mechanics, so I'm not even going to attempt.
You know, those are some great tips from Ryan Dempster. There's a lot of things you could do working on balance. What I tried to work on sometimes at home too, you could work on your pickoff move to second base if you're either a right-handed or a left-handed pitcher, working on that footwork. And it's so important. You try to do anything that you can do inside. It's a little difficult trying to throw a baseball so you don't break a window or break any furniture, but there are a lot of things you can work on, particularly with footwork, to get yourself ready in an abbreviated spring training to be ready to pitch. Matty, back over to you.
Yeah, from the pitching fraternity, there is some sad news as well, Dan. A friend of ours, and really a friend of baseball, Ed Farmer, who had an 11-year career as a pitcher, was an all-star in 1980, and a longtime White Sox broadcaster, beloved by the White Sox family, passed away Wednesday night. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family, a friend to everybody in baseball. Dan, Farmio was one of the greats.
He was, Matt. He grew up on the south side of the city, grew up a White Sox fan, and almost 30 years in the booth with the Chicago White Sox. He will be dearly missed, and I know that Jerry Reinsdorf was very, very committed to trying to help Ed get better. He had I had some heart and kidney problems the last couple of seasons. So our hearts and prayers out to the family of Ed Farmer.
I just remember seeing Ed so many times walking around with all this paper he used to carry around, but he always had this different view of the game. He had an idea, he'd always pull you aside and go, hey, let me tell you about this guy. I think he's really going to be something special. Here's what I see. His legs are longer on one side than it is the other. I don't know. He used to make up so much stuff. He was really fun to be around, Matt. And I know passing him in the booth quite a bit, you probably got to interact with Ed quite often.
Oh, he was a great storyteller. He loved the game. He loved being around people, and he will be sorely missed in the baseball community. Rest in peace, our friend Ed Farmer, passing away Wednesday night. More MLB Tonight right after this. Welcome back to MLB Tonight, presented by Camping World. Staying in shape any way you can, say Francisco Lindor and Gio Urshela, friends from way back, out on a bike ride. They got together close for the photo, but they are practicing social distancing when they do hit the road, we're told. Hey, those two guys are long friends, Lindor and Urshela. But back in June of last season, that friendship was, I guess, put to test during a game between the Indians and the Yankees. A great layout play by Lindor, robbing his buddy, and the two exchanged cheeky glances afterwards for a good inning or so. Bill Ripken on more regarding infield play.
The backhand. Sometimes the backhand's more difficult for a young player, and that's because he thinks the glove gets behind him. The glove doesn't get behind us in this game, even on the backhand. Here's a little drill. Mom, dad, brother, sister, coach, hit the ground ball just a little bit to this side. Player, get your right foot in front of it, and then I'm going to show you to go to work. See how the glove stays out in front? If I miss this ball, it should hit me in the foot. That's where I'm putting this right foot in the path of the baseball. Look where my glove is. It doesn't get back here. I catch the ball out in front. One more for good measure. That's how you backhand a baseball.
I love it. Something you can simply do by yourself. Once again, using a wall or a fence or something to kick that ball back to you. The other part I liked about what Bill was talking about, he said player. You know, girls softball is one of the fastest growing sports in this country, Matt. And so often we forget about our female athletes that are participating. So fielding a ground ball or a softball, whatever it is, the fundamentals apply the same. And I tell you what, I know you watch women's softball. It's one of the fastest games in baseball. They don't make mistakes. So Bill, again, with a great fundamental right there that applies across the board to baseball and softball.
Yeah, and you mentioned the use of a wall. You could use the wall behind you in the interrogation room that you're doing this TV show from. It looks like you got plenty of room there.
Yes, I got some space to work with. Hey, I got kicked out of the main living room because there was homework going on at the time that we're doing the show. So I got booted.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of homework, I just have to show you guys this before we take a quick break. Hang on a sec, unrehearsed. I've been doing some coloring, and in honor of how familiar we are with technology, I colored you, Dan, a dinosaur picture, because none of us are real good at this. And this is for all of us. We've all just turned into little piggies. Can you see that? Because all we're doing is sitting home and eating. So while a lot of athletes are working on, pitching drills, infield drills, the non-athlete among us, I've just been doing a lot of coloring. It's been great. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll say goodbye. Looking for material, folks. Joey Gallo staying sharp around the league. What players are doing to stay sharp during this period of inactivity, and a notable baseball anniversary next on MLB Tonight.
Oh, you got a run on that one. That's gone. Holy cow. His first big league home run. The Yankees now lead 2-0. Nice going, Derek.
That's got to be a great feeling. I talked to him today about what it's like, first game. He says, well, maybe in New York I'll be a little more nervous. Today I feel pretty good.
Home Plate Cam is presented by NTT.
Hey, welcome back. So by now, a lot of us have seen this Freddie Freeman video, the Nerf bat and the boy, and this monster blast. Danny, does that remind you of anything?
It does. Like with his son right here, he throws the balls down on the ground, takes me back to a time in County Stadium, and the big bad Cecil Fielder took me out of the planet. The only ball ever hit out of County Stadium during a game, Matt. Boy, I'm telling you, you have to somehow get that in every show.
Oh my gosh, that was an amazing blast. I mean, on top of the roof, incredible, Matt.
Good times. We had to end with that. We'll see you next time